We all understand the type of climate that we're dealing with. We're dealing with multiple offer situations.
I'd love to know sort of what's your why? What makes you tick? Why are you so successful?
Have a dialogue with your lawyer. Have a dialogue with your agent.
Both sort of passionate about sort of what we do.
Again, vet your agent to make sure that they're experienced and they're local. I like that idea.
No excuse to miss it on Saturdays from 8 to 9.
That's right.
WBZ.
And now, the show that gives you the latest and most relevant housing market news. Real Estate Radio Boston with financial expert Rick Shearer and legal professional Ali Alavi.
Tell the listeners your story. Tell us how you came here, what motivated you to come here, and how did you become the powerhouse real estate agent that you are now?
Okay. Do we have 2 hours in the show to talk about this?
Talk quick, sir. We got 8 minutes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I'm originally from the Amazon in Brazil. So I grew up there. My uncle was living in the U.S., working at a restaurant. I finished high school, and he said, do you want to come to the U.S.?
Yes.
And I said, yes, absolutely. So I came here, started working as a dishwasher in a restaurant while going to school at night to learn English. Went back to Brazil for a year, trying to go to law school where my brother was paying for it. And then I decided that I didn't want to become an attorney while my brother was a cook. Nothing against cooks.
Right, but your brother was here and he was supporting you to go to law school in Brazil, and you felt, oh, that's not fair.
Yeah.
I don't want to get educated at the cost and sort of have a different position over my brother, and that motivated you to come back here.
Absolutely. And now, as a matter of fact, my brother and I own a very successful business together, and we're both out of the restaurant industry.
That's great.
That's such an amazing story. Now, so you came back to this country. You decided to work in the hospitality industry, the restaurant business. That wasn't for you. And what motivated you to get into the real estate business?
So my wife, Lisa, at that time, she was my girlfriend. She knew I wasn't really into the restaurant industry. I didn't really like the atmosphere of the. So she said that, I think you'd be really good in real estate. You should get into it. But at the same time, she didn't want to work with me. She wanted to.
Well, she's smart.
Yeah, she didn't want it to be a professional relationship. So it took me a while to convince her. And now today we own our team together and we work together.
Oh, wow. So basically what you're telling me is, Lisa, and make sure you're listening to what I'm about to say, you owe everything to her.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her. So.
What an amazing
That's
story.
Great. Yeah. Hudson, tell us a little bit about your market and your team. I mean, I know that you've doing some great marketing. We were talking about it a couple minutes ago. Obviously, you're advertising on this wonderful station that we're on, WBZ. But some of your marketing efforts are really starting to pay off for you. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, absolutely. I believe that, you need to be, if you're the best in your group, you need to find another group. So in order for me to be successful with marketing, I need to associate myself with the best people in the industry.
Right.
So as far as I know in the radio, the best person out there is Gary LaPierre. So I'm very pleased and, excited to have the opportunity to work with him. As a matter of fact, we're having lunch this week together. So
that's great.
It's always great to meet with him.
We're coming.
And I also...
Where's it going to be?
Exactly. Just last Monday, I was in New York City with Barbara Corcoran. As everybody knows, she's from Shark Tank.
Yeah.
She built the biggest real estate company in New York, most successful real estate company in New York. So she's really a big inspiration, and big fan. So I found my way to be associated with her, and now we do some marketing together, and I get to learn from her.
Let me ask you this. What are some of the tools that you, based on trials and tribulation and brainstorming with your stepmom, that you created during the downturn that you're still employing today? Is it still being effective? And what are those tools?
Great question. The first thing that I brought into my business was home staging. And during the economy downturn, people weren't staging their homes. It was a new concept.
Well, it costs money to stage a home. And if you've lost your job,
don't have it.
What in the world are you going to do staging a home?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We made all of my listings look like the best possible house on the market. The other thing that I did was I employed a painter to work for me full time. So every Monday, I would go through, here are the homes you need to go paint. he would go and work for me full time. The guy didn't have any business except for my business.
Because the economy is horrible and no one's looking to paint their house.
That's interesting. So you distinguished yourself as a listing agent by offering staging services and offering painting services as part of the services you were providing to be able to get those listings on the market.
Exactly. The painter gave me a great price because he needed the money. But the other thing that I did was I found a contractor that also was out of work. So got him to help. And the three of us, the stager, the contractor, me, 4 of us, and the painter, all worked. And we, that year, in a really bad economy, sold 15 homes.
Wow.
15 homes that were priced anywhere from $800,000 to $1.5 million. Wow. And that's how we got through the bad economy.
I mean, that's a telling story.
Yeah.
I mean, you've taken a failed situation and you totally turned it upside down, and you created a success story out of it.
But I love just reaching out into your network, and that network being on the other side of the country, and to really start brainstorming. I'm big into networking, and not even networking, but brainstorming, and just getting a group together that you can bounce ideas off of. So brilliant.
Yeah.
So you're still employing those same tools today with regards to the listings that you have?
Yes.
Do you still have that same network?
The same network is still working for me.
Nice.
Although the struggle I have now is the economy is starting to expand.
Yeah.
And so sometimes the lead times are a little bit slower than they used to be. And since that time, I've hired a assistant. And she is not a licensed realtor. And she's an amazing writer. She's great at putting everything into MLS. My listing sheets are by far the best. And it's because I've got this meticulous person on the back end, Susan Maritan. She's just great.
Yeah.
And then I've got a buyer's agent that helps me as well, Kelda Paraki. She's fabulous. And the three of us were a well-oiled team that we crank. I was the #1 realtor at Commonwealth Lab.
Let's shift the conversation for a little bit. You and your team are out of Linfield,
right?
And we've already touched on sort of Boston, South Shore and North Shore. We talked about Medfield and the craziness of the market there, and some of the employment of tools that Candy and her team uses in order to be able to showcase their properties. What are some of the strategies you're using, and how's the market there?
The market is really busy.
Crazy?
Crazy market. Yeah, a lot of multiple offer situations. Very similar, even on the high end, whether it's high end or low end.
In your market, what is considered high end?
High end, about $1 million. About $1 million.
Okay.
$1.5 million.
So you're seeing
high end.
You're seeing activity
Absolutely.
even in those price points.
Absolutely. I put a house on a couple of months ago, and it was for $1.1 million, and it went over. I got 5 offers, and actually, most of them waived the home inspection, and most of them are cash. There was only one that had financing.
Wow.
So, and there's a lot of that going on right now in all the price ranges.
I mean, you're helping buyers and sellers. On the buyers, do you see your buyers wanting to waive those, or do you advise them to waive these things? Because that's a tough thing to be in.
After they lose a few homes in bidding wars, they actually, we start the discussion. I would never suggest for a buyer to waive a home inspection,
Right.
but after they lose these bidding wars, they know that they have to have cash, and they have to, if they really want the house, they should waive the home inspection.
What about mortgage contingencies? Do you think, are you seeing your buyers waiving mortgage contingencies,
I am.
although they need to get a mortgage?
Yes, I am. I'm seeing them actually apply for a mortgage, waive the contingency, and present it as cash.
Yeah.
A cash offer. Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's some of the stuff you're using, right, Rick? I mean, you're tightening these timelines between the time that the offer is accepted or the purchase and sale agreement is signed and the time to the commitment. Like you're making it a week or something like that?
Yeah, so what we're doing is we're tightening our timeline so that if we're giving a mortgage commitment, clear mortgage commitment 5 days after the signing of the purchase and sale agreement,
that's fast.
so that, but the client has to essentially put their running shoes on from day one, get the appraisal ordered. Once we have the purchase and sale, we get that to the appraiser. The client's gotten all their documents. We're issuing a clear commitment. So, I mean, as far as waiving your contingency, knowing that you need it, I mean, it's a gamble unless you're not prepared to pay cash, because it's not just the client that you're getting approved. You're approving the property, and you're approving title and all that kind of stuff. So, anyway.
I don't know how comfortable I am waiving home inspection if I'm a buyer. But we talked about during the previous segments, and you can probably corroborate this, but are buyers putting offers sight unseen?
Some of them are.
Some
but
of them
as,
are putting offers sight unseen.
as a seller's agent, I wouldn't accept that though, because you really want the buyer to get in there.
Get emotional
at
about
least-
it, attached.
At least once. I
Yeah.
mean, a lot
Right.
of times I'll tell my own buyers, you want to go in twice. You go in at the home, at the open house, and you see it's a little bit frenzied, but you want to go back again and you want to look at the house and make sure you even love it more, and you see all the little idiosyncrasies about it.
How often a buyer that has put an offer in on a property, sight unseen, has done an inspection? And if they do an inspection, are they even present for the inspection? And how important is it for a buyer to actually be present at an inspection?
First of all, as far as having a buyer be present for an inspection, hugely important. Those inspection reports are terrifying if you're just to pick one up and look at it, because it's the home inspector's responsibility to pick apart the house, and then they
Cover their butt.
they rank each item from like 1 to 5, best to worst.
Right.
And if a buyer
And it could be scary for someone who's not in that business.
it
Right.
is.